Alicia from Providence Farmstead, and you'll have to excuse me if I'm moving a little funny. Yesterday we had a whole lot of rain and I actually slipped and fell on a muddy hill. I fell really hard. My head bounced like a basketball, and I have pulled all the muscles in my neck, down my spine, and I have whiplash. So I'm a little bit uncomfortable, but I did promise Isabel that I would make some homemade biscuits today, and I need to make some goat cheese because we have a lot of milk. So I thought I'd let you come along and see what we're doing. So this is just a little cheese making kit that I picked up on Amazon last year. It has most of the stuff you need to make cheese. Okay guys, we are going to actually make queso blanco. So, because I don't want to wait for the French cheese to be ready tomorrow, I want to have it today. So I'm just very gently warming this gallon of milk to 195 degrees. So occasionally I'm giving this a gentle stir, making sure it doesn't feel like it's sticking to anything. And we are about 130 degrees. We're getting closer. We are getting so close. We're about 175. This whole process of heating this up slowly, because I have this set on low, it takes probably 20 to 25 minutes. We have about 3 degrees to go, so we are getting really close. I'm still trying to keep it from scalding. As soon as this heats up all the way, I have 2 teaspoons of citric acid ready to be mixed in. And then it gets covered up and it has to stand for 5 minutes without stirring. Okay, so we have reached 195 degrees. So I'm going to take the thermometer out. And I'm going to stir in this citric acid. You just lightly stir it for about 10 seconds. You see it's rolled up on the top there. I can feel it thickening a little bit. See it curding already? See the curds? So, cover that up for 5 minutes. Alright guys, there we go. See how it's all separated? So now we're going to strain it. Cheese. I gently folded in some cheese salt. It's very important you don't use a salt with iodine in it when you make cheese. You can use sea salt or kosher salt, cheese salt, but not iodized salt. And so I'm going to let it drain here for just a couple of minutes, and then I'll tie it up and let it drip for a little while, and then I'm going to press it. Cheese curd. So I'm going to make this into a tight ball, but you can see a lot is dripping from it already, and it's still very hot. So I'm not going to get my hand much closer than that. And I'm going to tie it up like this and just hang it. And there she hangs. Drip, 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 drip. Sad that that ball of cheese is all 1 gallon of milk makes. On the subject of making biscuits from scratch, I use 1 cup of butter. I cube it up. I'll add 4 cups of flour to this. 1 teaspoon of baking powder and half a teaspoon of baking soda, and then I'll mix it with my hands until it's good and crumbly. This is the first time I've taken my silicone ring off since I've had it. I feel like I don't even have it on. It's so comfortable, but I didn't want to clean flour off of it because literally I will take this in both hands and break up these pieces of butter into this flour. You can use a pastry blender for this, but I don't know, I just like working with my hands in it. Okay, there's all my crumbles. To this I'm going to add 2 cups of buttermilk. Then I'm going to roll it out, and I actually got flour everywhere. I actually use a small canning ring to cut my biscuits. I bought a biscuit cutter once. I lose them, so that's what I use. Works for me. Letting the birthday boy get in here mix this up a little bit with the fork, and then I just finish it by hand. You don't want to knead biscuits a whole lot, but I do just very lightly. You always want to work the biscuit dough as little as you possibly can. That makes the fluffier biscuit. So I do knead the dough just a little bit. Trying to get it all stuck together before I roll it out. And I roll it out about the thickness of the ring. Yep. Alright, so I roll it out about the thickness of the ring. It can puff out a little bit out of the top, but I think it makes a pretty perfect biscuit. You can see the face paint over there on his arm. I taught the 4-H class today, and I let them taught some face painting and some color theory, and then I let the kids have out some of my older paints and paint themselves. Mostly their arms. I told them to keep it on their arms. Painted them all up.
That little chunk of dough.
Let's not do that again. It looks like you might be able to cut 2 more out of there, and then I'll have to push the dough all back together.
One right there, maybe.
Yep,
one
right there. So biscuits are not cookies. Biscuits like to touch. They cook better if they do. Okay, the last thing I'll be making is some egg scramble with some sauteed garlic scapes, and I'll put some of that fresh cheese on there. Some butter is starting to melt in here, but these guys are done. Don't they look delicious? Perfectly golden brown on the bottom. Okay, good job. Give them a little whisk. Looks delicious. Here is my ball of queso blanco, white cheese. I think everyone's pretty excited for this farm meal tonight. We have eggs from our chickens and scapes from our garden, homemade biscuits, and homemade strawberry jam. Ooh, guys, this looks fantastic. Fresh strawberry jam. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Half a jar of jam gone, guys. Half a jar. It was delicious. Dinner for 4, half a jar of jam. I hope you enjoyed watching with us today, and I will catch you next time. Have a blessed week.